Looks like it's 2 o'clock. That means the clock should go off soon. There it goes. Now I know it's time to start. How is everybody today? I'm just getting my screen ready so when I change it'll all be right and we won't have a delay today. How about that? I am organized today. So much better than the last couple of weeks, to be honest. I mean, I was a little disorganized. That's the 2 weeks ago I lost the card. I was a little crazy. And last week, I don't remember what happened, but something did, and I was just confused and started late. So I am glad that today is normal. I got up, made the card, got everything ready. I've even got the 4 card kits cut, which I am pretty impressed with. And they're almost ready to go. I just have to put the bling in. So, but before we do that, we need to know what's in your cup today. I have got a cup of black coffee, like this. My friend, let's see, where's my camera? Up, yeah. My friend Moira bought this for me. I don't know if you've probably heard the story, but we liked these Starbucks cups, so we started buying them for each other. And COVID hit before we got the 4th one. I'm sure there would have been a 4th one if COVID hadn't hit. But we've got 3. And this is my go-to cup. I absolutely love it. Hi, Lori from Birch Bay. You've got water? Well, in my cup, I've got black coffee. No surprise there. But in my second cup, when this is over, I have the Snarky Tea Raspberry Lemonade. It's a fruit tisane. There's no caffeine in it, and I probably had enough because this is my 3rd cup. Okay, let's go down to the table because I want to show you, you'll be happy by the way, that for sharing, Cindy Walker and Lori Russell, one from Facebook, one from YouTube. Hi Jen, good to see you. You've got ice water too. You know, I normally have ice water in my cup, but I don't know. It's sunny and pretty out, and I kind of thought it felt like lemonade weather. So I made this tisane up. So that's what I decided to do, raspberry lemonade. For commenting, I've got Chris Nunley. Hi Jeanette, hey, good to see you. And Cindy Grattan. So there we are. Those will be going out. That's from card kits from last week. I will send them out the next time I head over to the post office, which will probably be tomorrow. Because as you may remember, I am the only person whose mail is not picked up by the post office. I can put it out there, nobody picks it up. And I think it's when we first moved here in 1998, 97, one of those 2 years, that we probably put in that we didn't want our mail picked up because I worked, and so I just took it to work with me and popped it in the outgoing mail. Anyway, now that I'm retired and I have put a few things out, they don't pick it up. It just sits there and the new mail goes on top of it and it just stacks up. Anyway, so I go to the post office. It's a nice little drive, not too far. And I've got a drive-through that I can just put it in. Oh, Jeanette, a London fog from Starbucks, yum. Have you tried the Bellingham fog from Woods? It's made with, now instead of English breakfast tea, it's made with the white blueberry tea. And it is also really good. So if you haven't had it, I'd give it a try, just for fun. Now, what are we going to do today, you might ask? Well, first of all, here's a disclaimer. If you hear any noise in the background, like bubble wrap popping, oh, Lori, sparkling ice lemonade sounds good. Oh, you're out, I'm sorry. Time to go to the store. Or toys being thrown up in the air and making squeaky sounds, it's because Susie Cute has decided that this is the time to play. And she's been making a little bit of noise. Actually, she's hilarious. She loves bubble wrap. And she pops it with her teeth. She just bites into it. So when it goes flat, then I'll trade it out. Oh, Cindy, you get mails Mondays and, oh, they have Mondays and Fridays off? Interesting. There have been days here when there's been no mail. And since I get a fair amount of junk mail, it's surprising when my mailbox is empty. So, here we go. This is the last day of celebration. So if you bought $60, you could get a set. This particular set, just a second, I've got it right here. It's the heart-shaped bundle. And because it's got the dies with it, it's $120. So if you wanted to put in an order, today would be a great day to do it and get this. If there's also other things we're using today from Celebration. Our Bliss is a Celebration bling. Let me pull it out. There's Sequins. Aren't they pretty? These are the Adhesive-Backed Sequins. Purple Adhesive-Backed Sequins. This one, it looks white, but if you really get it in the light, there's some green and pumpkin pie, and it's just got a lot of light colors with it. This one I think is pretty in pink. Fresh freesia. But it goes really well with Petunia Pop. And this one is pretty too. This is more Petunia Pop-ish, but this went on our card nicely with the Blackberry Bliss and Petunia Pop. So this is what I'm using, and that is a $60. Oh, you go try it? It is really good. It's my favorite. Then, of course, the Designer Series paper is the Bloom Impressions, which I liked, and so I thought we'd use it. And then the embossing folder is the Starstruck embossing folder, which is really nice. It almost looks like little flowers. Actually, it does look like little flowers to me. But it says it's the Starstruck, so they must be like little starbursts. We are going to use some product because I remembered that I had it. I generally speaking, when I'm doing little intricate dies and things, I remember that I have multi-purpose adhesive sheets after it's all done and over. Hi, Cindy. Susie's a cute kid. Yes, she is a cute carrier. A little destructive, but cute. And I cut my sheets up so they're smaller and fit inside this case. And so we're going to put one together and use it. Hi, Cindy Walker. Good to see you. So I've got cut out the dies with Blackberry Bliss, and this has got the adhesive on it. There's a stamp with flowers, three little flowers. So I did those in Petunia Pop, made Blackberry Bliss centers, and I might have Wink of Stella them. I don't know if you can tell. There, I see a little sparkle in the camera up here. Yeah, there was a little sparkle. And then for the inside, I did a second generation stamping of the Petunia Pop heart, so I can still write through it. And then I just used a full strength on my envelope. So this is what we're making. I've changed it a tiny bit. When I was looking at it, I was just thinking normal layers, and so I did the 4x5.25 and embossed it and put it on, and I thought, oh, well, that doesn't look quite right. I didn't like it. So, oh, there it is. For the card we're doing today, we've got our thick white, basic white cardstock. I have a strip, because I've already done the flowers. I did, or at least stamp them and cut them out. This is just for my sentiment. I need a little strip for my sentiment layer, my matte layer for the sentiment. And I'll show you how we're doing that one. That's a fun one. I have, oh, that's not what that is. That is not a strip. This is one that has the, oh, I had embossed that at one time. Look, it's got some texture. That'll be cool. And it's got the adhesive sheet on it. So the way I do that is I just pop up the adhesive sheets. I cut them so that the seam could be found. There's 3 sections. And I wanted to be able to lift it quickly, so I just lifted it up and put it on some of them. On some, I took and put it on, put the cardstock in, closed it up, and then I cut right here. And then took the outer layer off. Anyway, really good when you've got fine die cuts. Especially if you remember that you own it. That's my big thing. I seldom remember that I own it. So where is my little strip of... Now I know yours has a little strip in it. Let's see. Well, let me look in another spot. So I got tired of having so many strips of everything, and I threw some of the strips away. But it looks like I don't have another little strip. So I will get a bigger strip, just a bigger chunk, for our sentiment layer. Here's our layer that we're mounting the designer series paper on. I have one cut out. Here's one set of flowers. The die cutting's done. This is for the inside. So when you get, next week, if you get the kit, one is larger than the other in die cut. I mean, I've already embossed it for you, so you'll be able to tell what's what. Here's our other flowers. I'm going to die cut the heart. So let's see how many pieces we can get this down to before I start with that. Because too many pieces and I get a little confused. This is already scored. So it's 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And I like to just pop mine kind of up in the corner here on my trimmer because I've got a straight edge here and I've got a straight edge here. And I cut those ends up, make sure everything's lined up, and then it's really easy to have a straight edge. Anything to make it easier. Well, that was good. Throwing the designer series paper on the floor. So anybody got great plans for the weekend while I just start with this? Most of it's flat. I'm going to have a couple of young men from my congregation come and help me get the branches and all that stuff out of my yard. There's a lot of yard here. And I've got lots of trees. So there's branches and big and small. Down. And of course then there's the ones I've driven over and they're broken, so there's little pieces of branches. So I am really thrilled to have some help. Okay, so here is our embossed layer on with our glue. And I just take it and I kind of line it up by tapping it on the sides and the bottom. Next, I'll put the designer series paper. I think that's pumpkin pie. And petunia pop and blackberry bliss with the white. And that could be shy shamrock, or it could be, oh, what's the other one? We got kind of a blue with some greens that are hard for me to distinguish for some reason. Let's see. Shy shamrock, that's what it is. Oh, you're going to see the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, a Ferndale High School production. That's cool. Okay. It is possible that the designer series paper is cut a little bit longer than our matte layer, only because when you get it on, I would rather cut a little tiny bit of something off, and it's almost perfect. Maybe if I slit it a little bit. So multi-purpose glue is really great for adhering and having a little time to wiggle it. But mine seems to be drying quickly today. So let's just put this on and see what we get. Look, we've got less layers now to work with, or to have sitting on the table. And I just kind of eyeball it, line it up on one side. The nice thing about the Starburst is it's easy to get in straight in the embossing folder because Stampin' Up! Has put that wonderful little line at the bottom. So you can line it up on the bottom and you get a straight. Oh, that's going to be nice, Cindy. It's good to have nice weather. I am really pleased with it, actually. Okay, let's go ahead and start the embossing. Not the embossing, the cutting. So here I am with my mini cut and emboss. Oh, I'm going to sit it on my mat so it's pretty straight. It looked so good this morning before I started cutting hearts because there's 2 hearts for every card. So I cut 6 hearts worth. And here are our dies. This is our sentiment die, our flower die, and here is our heart. Now I did have a little problem with the first one. The rest all did beautifully. And I didn't feel it was necessary to have this totally covered on the back. So a little bit will be hanging off, but the widest part of the heart is where the adhesive is. Let's just turn this over. I'm going to run it through once and then bring it back. And what I needed to do with the first one, and I didn't need it to do it with the others, but I took it and I left this on. I didn't take this off with that first one. So if you're ever having trouble with it cutting, don't take this off. Keep it all together, turn it over, and then run it through again with the cut side going up into your plate because that helps. It's got more pressure. The pressure from the rollers don't have to go through as many layers. So let's take this apart. Actually, that's kind of cute. I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do with it, but it was cute. And then pull out your leaves. This really is a very delicate die cut. This is one of the bigger scraps I had. So I've got a little extra room around it. So I think I'm going to keep that and put it in with my scraps. That's how easy it was. And now what we could do is we could put these back in because we're going to need this one a couple more times today. So let's put this to the side and put our, see, I told you when I mentioned that it wasn't going to go all the way down, and that's okay. If you wanted to, you could put just a little dab of glue there. You could make yours go all the way down. But I didn't find it necessary. So here we are. And it just pulls off nicely. I have one little piece that didn't come off. And I will get my take your pick tool, grab the pick, and pop it off. And then try and get it into the garbage can. Nope, there it is. Thought I had it and I didn't. Now this is going in about the middle. Because this is a little bit longer than the one I had this morning, there's going to be a bit more space, I think, between the 2 halves of the other heart. And this is pretty easy to cut. Just cut it in half. And up at the top, I trimmed it right between those two leaves. So if you can see. I did find that my scissors, after playing with the adhesive tape and the cutting, they were very sticky. And actually, since there's more room, I think I probably would have, this one might need a touch of glue. Just the tiniest bit. Because it is, I can get a little dot right here. Because it didn't have anything to hold this little bit down at the bottom. And then our other one we'll take off. Anyway, what I should have done was put down the right side and the left side and then space this one between. That would have ensured it being even. Oh, there's Kitty. I think she's wishing she could go outside. She cannot. No going out and playing where there are raccoons and coyotes and dangerous things. So let's put this one down. It would probably be really smart if one learned how to use the tweezers better, or if I learned how to use them better. It might be easier to put things like that down. Yes, the heart did come out really nicely. And yes, adhesive sheets are great as long as you remember you own them. I ran across them this morning as I was looking for something, so I thought, oh, this would be a good idea. Okay, there are hearts. Let's go ahead and do our flowers, and then we'll get to the sentiment. Really easy, quick card to do. Look what I found. Just sitting here, looking cute. A little bit of Wink of Stella, because they're flowers and they deserve to sparkle. And I was thinking, when I was doing this today, that they look really plain. And what could I do to make them look better besides the Wink of Stella? Because that always helps. And they needed a colored center. And sometimes I might use, a sequin or a gem or something for the colored center. But today I decided to use my Blackberry Bliss blends. And I used the little narrow, the narrower end, which is more of a bullet point. And then I just sort of made a circle in the middle. How is that for easy? There's actually, you can see a little bit of something in the middle that's a little lighter, but it doesn't stand out. And I thought it needed to stand out. There, I think that's better, don't you? And then I turned them over, and I don't use my mini dimensionals a lot. I was 99% positive I got those out. Here they are. Because they're a little cumbersome to use. This is one of the edges. It's a little large, but I think it'll fit still. But these work really nice in the middle, and it's easier if you pick them up. For me, it's easier to pick up using my Take Your Pick tool. And I thought 2 was enough. I'm going to change the order a little bit of how I put them on. Decided I really wanted one of them, the one in the middle, to be at the top. Okay, I'm going to put those there, and I'll get them in a minute. So here it is at the top. And then one kind of on the left side middle, right there. And I think I'm going to put this in the right side, kind of at the bottom. There we are. I think I like that. Okay, let's see if we can get these picked up before I wear them. One seems sticky for some reason. Not sure why. So here we are. We are so close to being done with the card, or at least the front of it. But I wanted to show you something with the sentiment, the die cut for the sentiment, and the how to make it a little different size. I really wanted to use, and I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. I really wanted to use the thank you. I mean, the other sentiments in the set are nice. They are, my heart loves your heart. There's a thank you. My thoughts of you are all heart-shaped, just because I care, and hello. You could also stamp and cut some little leaves if you wanted to for the flowers. I didn't think it was necessary. But what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this down. And this needs to be considerably shorter than it is. That's just too long. So let me put the ink away, because you know what a mess I can make with ink. Who knows, I could start juggling it, and that could be a disaster. So no juggling ink today. Let's take our mini cut and emboss. This is a piece of very low tack tape. And my friend Diane sent me this whole little set. And it's wonderful because you can use it several times. And I'm going to have to find out the name of it, because one of these days I will need to order refills. But that was so sweet of her, and it is probably the easiest that I've used. Even washi tape, which is nice, just takes too much okay, I gotta line this up. That looks pretty straight. Let's just pop that on. Now I'm going to take my second plate and put it on, but I am not going to take it clear till the end. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn this around, because I am going to do this. No, that's not it. It's this way. Because I want to cut the sentiment out and leave the end open. Where the plate ends, the cutting ends. So when we take this off, here's our sentiment. Now I need that to be shorter. So I'm going to turn it around. You can feel when this is on the groove that you've already cut. And so when you've got that feeling, then tape it back down and do the same thing. Just cut that end. It won't matter if you go a little bit farther. So here we go. I have shortened up the size of the sentiment by quite a lot. Keep your tape, because we're going to do something with the piece of Blackberry Bliss that I brought out. Just a reminder. Oh, you're still wearing black, Cindy, Oh, on the floor, on the mat, upside down. Lori, did it come out? All right, I'm just going to cut a full sentiment. Put our top mat on. Run it through. And we have a long sentiment. A long sentiment strip. So we'll take this off. Then what I'm going to do is take the short sentiment that I just cut. Right? We know I just cut it. And I'm sure I put it somewhere safe. Well, isn't that ridiculous? Oh, there it is. It's sitting up at the top of the card. I almost couldn't see it there. And I am going to hold it on my strip. Because as you can see, this, even though the dark writing, it just disappears. And I don't like things that disappear. You go to all the trouble of doing it. You don't want it to disappear. I line it up where I want it. And then I decide where this is going to go so that it's about the same distance. I would say that's pretty close. I'm just going to hold that and slip my strip out. Put it down. Tape it up. And making sure it's well lined up. I think I want to make sure everything is okay, that it is centered on this. It is. Then I'm going to do this again, because I sort of remember how long. And look at it one more time. And shorten it up a little bit more. It didn't have it well centered on the die. And if you don't have it centered on the die, you have a problem. Oh, Lori, you wiped it with your sock. Oh, it's a plastic mat under your chair. Okay, that's good. So now you've got black ink on your sock. But it will wash out because it's a water-based ink. Let's see. Yes, that looks right. Now we can make sure that it's centered, because we don't want to cut anything again that we've already cut, because we're happy with that end. There we are. Let's just run this through. It was funny when I was doing this the first time. I ran it through and I just had this little tip of this one, and so my second plate was way out here, and it went, when I got it through the machine, it went boom, flew out. It surprised me. Didn't take anything with it, which is a good thing. All right. Let's look and see how we've done. I think we've done pretty well. And that's how you shorten your sentiment, and you can shorten your mat, your sentiment strip. a smaller sentiment. Sometimes all you really need is the width to be correct because you can fix the length. Let's take and put just a little bit of seal on here. Can you see that red through here? That means we're almost to the end of this seal. And I am okay with that because I remembered also to buy Seal Plus. And I'll be glad to get back to using Seal Plus. That looks about right. Give it a little press. And I thought that this could be put on dimensionals also. And I did put one in the middle because even though it's not super long, I think it's long enough that we want to make sure that we don't sag. No saggy middles. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Cindy. I like the flexibility our dies give us. Let's just put this on down here in the corner. And then we need some bling. So here we go. I think the lighter one is too light. Even though it's on the white, I think we've got a lot of color in our card. I just don't think that would stand out. But the darker would work. So what do you think? The darker sequins or the lighter? So we're going to ignore the ones on the bottom. On the top, A or B? Let me know what you think. And while you're thinking about that, I am going to stamp the heart. Here it is. And I decided not to use Blackberry Bliss to stamp it because Blackberry Bliss is really, really a strong color. So I'm going to, since I'm stamping off, I'm just going to grab an old piece of typing paper. I ran something off I didn't need. The darker for Lori and Cindy. Okay. Anyone else want to weigh in? Oh, Shirley, the darker. Okay. I think I'm going to like it too. Okay. And then I'm remembering that it's a landscape card, not a portrait card. There's our heart in the middle. So if you're doing this and you accidentally put it on the wrong direction, all you do is turn the paper over and redo it in the proper direction. I had to do that on the first card. So let's put on my seal. And we'll put this on the inside. And as long as I've got the ink and the stamp out, let's go ahead and work on our envelope. And I don't need to stamp this one off. It is good though to have the Stampin' Pierce mat under, especially a larger image of, I don't want the whole thing. I'm going to let that hang off. Because I need room to write the address. And then we'll do one on the back. Maybe this one will do at an angle and let a little more hang over. A little hint of what's coming on the other side of the flap. Okay, we're done stamping. We'll put the ink away. We're almost done with the front. Let's going to put on the darker gems. Well, sequins actually. I'm going to take a large one and put it down at the bottom. Ooh, that is pretty. Good choice, friends. I like it. And I'm just putting them in the center of the Starburst. And there is our card. We've got the envelope. We have the card with how many items from Celebration? The stamp set and the dies, the designer series paper, and the bling. So we've done a good Celebration card. Don't you think? I like it. Thank you for helping me with the dark. I needed you earlier when I put the lighter on. I will make sure that you have a choice of bling for you to put on your card if you get the card kit. And I was going to show you my Happy Mail, but there are 2 from the swap sitting out in my mailbox. Or, yeah, probably by now it's here. Because my mailman does deliver mail. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Shirley. So I think we're going to call it a day. If you've got any ideas for next week, what you'd like to see, I am thinking a Z-fold card, but I'm not sure which set I'm going to use. I'll need to think on that. But I like a good Z-fold card, and we haven't done a Z-fold card. And I've got this really cool from Jan. No, not from Jan, from Kat. Remember this card that she sent me? It's very cute on the back, too. But it just opens up. It's got pretty paper. Perfect for a coffee lover like me. Anyway, I think maybe this is what we should do, but I'm not sure of the suite to use. I don't know. If you have suggestions, feel free to message me or write them in the comments on this video. And I think I'm going to say goodbye and happy crafting. Enjoy your week. And if you've got sunshine, enjoy that too. All right. Bye-bye. Love you, friends.